The story is about the curse of the doll. They say some toys hold memories, but this doll held something far darker. In an old forgotten town, there was a legend about a cursed doll named Eliza. The doll had once belonged to a little girl who died mysteriously. Some said the girl had drowned, others whispered she would simply vanished from one foggy night, but the doll stayed behind, always finding a new owner and always bringing misfortune. When young Sarah and her family moved into the abandoned house on Oakwood Hill, they discovered the doll buried under the floor bed. Its porcelain face cracked, its eyes cold and piercing. Sarah, a curious 12-year-old, picked up the doll and decided to keep it unaware of the curse. She would just invite it into her life. That first night, strange things began to happen. Sarah heard faint whispers echoing through her room, voices that seemed to crawl out from the beneath her bed. Shadows danced on the walls, twisted and stretching like bony fingers reaching out for her. She tried to tell her parents, but they brushed it off as nerves from the new house. The doll sat on her dresser, staring at her with eyes that seemed to follow her every move. In the dead of night, Sarah saw. She saw the doll mouth curl into a faint smile, a mocking grin that seemed to say, "I am watching you." The following night, the whispers grew louder, almost like the doll was trying to speak. Sarah's lights flickered, casting eerie shadows across her room. She felt something brush her cheek, as if someone had stroked her face. Her room grew colder, her breath turning to mist, and she felt a heavy weight pressed down on her chest. She thought to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. The doll's eyes gleamed in the darkness, and the faintest laughter echoed from its cracked mouth. Desperate Sarah threw the doll in the basement and locked the door. But it wasn't over. The next morning, the doll was back on her dresser, its eyes darker than before, filled with a chilling malice. Her family grew uneasy, noticing scratches on the walls, cold drafts, and the eerie feeling that something was watching them. Her mother saw shadows darting in her peripheral vision, and her father heard footsteps in the empty hallway. That night, Sarah had a nightmare so vivid she swore it was real. In it, the doll sat at the foot of her bed, whispering ancient curses. Her hands and feet were bound, her voice silent as the doll crept closer, its cracked face splitting open to reveal empty, hollow eyes. When she woke, the doll was lying next to her, and her wrist bore bruises as if somebody had held her down. Terrified, Sarah's parents decided to burn the doll. They built a fire in a backyard and tossed Eliza into the flames, watching as the flame licked up her porcelain skin. But instead of breaking, the doll seemed to scream, an unearthly, high-pitched shriek that sent chills down their spines. The fire burned out, but the doll remained untouched, its eyes now pitched black. They tried burning it, droning it, even smashing it with a hammer, but the doll always returned, unbroken, more menacing than ever. The family's luck turned, sickness spread, accidents happened, and a cloud of darkness settled over their home. One by one, they fell ill, haunted by nightmares of a doll. Laughter, cold finger tracing their faces, whispering secrets of death, and each time the doll grew stronger, feeding off their fear and despair. In the end, they left the house abandoned, everything, but as they drove away, Sarah glanced back, and there is a rear view mirror. She saw the doll in the window, smiling the same era smile, as if she's saying goodbye. The house on Oakwood Hill still stands, and to this day people say they can hear a child laughter echoing from within, and those brave enough to enter swear they have seen a doll with dark, empty eyes waiting for its next honor.